Morning, lovely people. How are you all doing today? I hope you're well. I'm all invigorated. I'm just back from my morning constitutional, and I took my camera with me because I've had quite a few questions from folk in the last few weeks, especially since I showed you the sea before Storm Ingrid. So yeah, I took my camera with me to explain some of the flood defences, some of what goes on here. So, roll VT. Oh, well, you can see it's a much calmer morning this morning. Still a little bit of swell. But there's no rain. There's no rain. There's no howling wind. I mean, it is a bit windy, but yeah, gorgeous morning. So one of the reasons I brought you all down here, let's look at the bright sunshine again. I just wanted to show you a couple of things down here on a calmer morning with reference to the recent storms and flooding. I'll talk about the seawall and the stone quay in a second, but I just want to show you over here. You can see this is where they put their flood gates in. So these are the old ones. You can see the new ones, much taller. They're almost as tall as me. They're getting on for 6 foot. These are about 3 foot. Sorry, these are about 3 foot. These are more like 5 foot. So that's one thing that happens. And let's just walk along a bit. And here is one of the floodgates in place. I'm not sure why the other door doesn't have its floodgate on. I wonder if it's broken. But it's a good job because during Storm Ingrid and Storm Chandra, the seawall was completely being overtopped. Yeah, it was pretty dramatic. This whole path was closed, as you might imagine, sensibly, because obviously there's no barrier here. So yeah, a wave could smash down on someone, knock them off balance, and whip them down into the sea. So yeah, all along this path down to the square, this was all shut off. You see some concrete blocks down there, and then there are more up here, pointing into the light, just up here. That's also part of the winter storm defences. Yeah, I mean these properties here were getting absolutely battered by the sea. These ones down here is to protect the lower high street. Ooh, is wind going to be an issue? Someone was asking about the stone quay and the whole seawall here, about when it was built, asking when it was built. Amazingly, it was built in 1750. So it's 276 years old and still doing its job against the winter storm. Well, just any storms, never mind just winter. But it's amazing that it's that it's still standing. So these concrete blocks, I mean, they're huge. You can see they're sort of 3 deep, those to a side on. During Storm Brendan, the sea picked these up and moved them as if they were little Lego pieces, scattering them into the high street. This is the high street. So for Chandra, someone was also asking about, we're going to go right into the sun now, asking about cars parked here. This whole section of the lower high street got closed. Yeah, we can see a bit better now. So yeah, this road was closed off, so no one can park. I mean, you can see the council have been out twice to do clear up after Storm Ingrid and after Storm Chandra, because there were rocks right up to the building, but you can see there's still sand and seaweed. I think that's come up last night. Bearing in mind we are behind the storm defences, so the council are really good at the morning after a storm or the afternoon after a storm, you know, as soon as possible they get out here and get this road cleared. I mean, it was just rocks everywhere. So another little thing I want to show you, yeah, look, half the beach is up here. Seaweed. How are you at your seaweed identification? That looks like that's serrated wreck, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's serrated wreck. I'm not brilliant on seaweed identification. I'm trying to get better. Oh, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah for this sunshine. I just want to take you up here's away because the restaurant here, the Pier Head restaurant, has windows, floor to ceiling windows to make the most of the view. Here we go. And you can see for winter they get boarded up. They have to board their windows up. This was piled high with rocks the other day. They do close in the winter, but yeah, closed and boarded up. So this whole road was cleared yesterday, but as you can see, once again overnight, quite a lot of, I mean, this is small stuff here. There's still a lot of beach has been thrown up, a bit bigger, and then we'll have a look at the sea in a second. Yeah, this is all last night, which was supposed to be a not a stormy night. I mean, they're just huge rocks. Oh, but this morning with the light, gorgeous. Stay all day, but I ain't gonna get the baby bathed. Oh my goodness, it is such a joy to see the sunshine this morning. I don't know that it's gonna last, but never mind. I've had a sort of 45 minutes out there in it this morning. So lovely. I'm trying to go out every day. I mean, I pop out most days anyway, but I'm trying to specifically go and walk for 30 to 45 minutes each day, whatever the weather. Now, talking of weather, where did oh, it was on the local news, I heard this. There's going to be a bit of traffic sound because, well, it's kind of rush hour in Swanage. Yeah, on the local news I heard this January, it has been wet. There's no two ways about it. And I was thinking, am I imagining it? It feels like it's rained almost every day since September. So fed up with it, which is why having that sunshine this morning was so special. But yeah, according to, I wrote it down, according to the local news, this is the second wettest January since 1836. I don't know why that specific year. Was that when they started doing local weather recording? But yeah, the second wettest since 1836. The ground is saturated. I'm dying. I'm really, really desperate to get up to North Beach. But I mean, the cliffs are sopping wet and of course, perfect for a landslip. So I'm not heading that way. Now, a couple of thank yous to say. Firstly, it's on the back of the chair, waiting to cuddle me. Thank you, Sue, for the really kind of chunky cuddly hoodie thing. Actually today I think it's going to be too warm for it, but it's perfect for in the evening. It's a big hoodie, pocket in the front, could put a hot water bottle in it, but it's perfect for late in the evening because it has been really quite chilly. I think it's partly the damp, but it's perfect for putting on, snuggling up for a bit of book reading. More books in a second. And also a thank you to Jane. This is do you remember I was saying I couldn't understand I had 2 tea bags called Sleep from Twinings, but they were different. I was like, this isn't the one I like. I like the one with the spiced apple, and that's this one. And it's funny because I noticed them in the supermarket the other day. They do 2 different versions of the Sleep. And Jane, thank you very much. What did she say? There's a little card. Sweet. Ooh, la. Sweet little card. A hug in a mug. Thank you, lovely. They will last me a year, if not more. Because it's like, you know, maybe 1 tea bag a month. So thank you. That's me sorted with my tea now through to the end of probably 2027. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Yes, so looking at the sea this morning, talking of the sea, I mentioned in a recent video that I got a corker of a book to bring you, to tell you about, and this is it. The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. I'm trying to fix this focus, it's driving me insane. It'll be a listening video. I think the camera is dark. I'm going to turn you off and turn you on again. I'll try again. The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. What a joy of a book. I realised, just even in the first couple of lines, I thought, actually, I don't know anything about octopuses. And it's octopuses, not octopi. Octopi would be, if it was Latin, it's not, it's a Greek word. I realised I know nothing about them, and that I might feel a little bit about them. You know, are they kind of slimy, cold? By the end of this book, I wanted a pet octopus. She's made me fall in love with them. So she's an American naturalist, and the octopuses that she has dealings with are at the Boston Aquarium. It does raise questions about animals in captivity, although there's a wonderful quote at the end, and the book does it too, as well as the aquarium. She says, she's talking about one of the octopuses in particular, saying, she had, by her being at the aquarium, she had served as an ambassador for her kind to tens of thousands of aquarium visitors, even transforming disgust to admiration. Absolutely, she does that with the book brilliantly. But yeah, so it does raise that question of animals in captivity. Another quite a big subject area in this is anthropomorphism. She anthropomorphizes with the octopuses. That's a mouthful. But I was thinking about it later on, as I was reading, and I was thinking, well, I suppose trying to be strictly scientific and objective, maybe we shouldn't. But on the other hand, any of us who've ever lived with or been in close contact with animals, whether it's a dog, a cat, a horse, an octopus, surely what we're seeing in them, we see fear in animals, we see joy in animals. When you come home from work, the joy in your dog's body language when it comes to greet you, or the kind of that face when they've done something naughty and they know it. So yeah, that's kind of in the book too. But never mind all that. This is just a wonderful deep dive into a handful of octopuses that she charts as we go through this, even down to sort of their reproduction and their egg laying, and it's utterly fascinating. She has a lovely style. It's very it's very casual. It's almost like, imagine, you know, I've been at work in my office all day. Sai's been at work in, you know, in her naturalist's world of working with the octopus, whatever. You meet in a cafe after work or at the pub, and she's like, oh, and then I did this today, and then I saw this, and this is what I experienced, and oh, this was amazing. Oh, it was amazing when such and such happened, and you'll never guess what I saw, and da 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 da. There's this gorgeous kind of sharing of, I know we've gone out of focus, I'm just going to have to ignore it and carry on and hope it adjusts itself. I have to buy a new camera. Yeah, it's an absolute delight. Her enthusiasm, her joy is utterly infectious. And like I said, by the end, I wanted a pet octopus. This isn't going to pick up on camera, I know, but in the corner of each page, there's a little black and white image, and it works as a flicker book. It's an octopus in the bottom corner. I wonder if a different background would help this focus. It would help it remember that it's supposed to, or super close up. Maybe this will work, would be super close up. Sorry, my eyes keep flicking over there because that's my viewfinder. Let's see if I can show this to you now. Let's find the first page. You see, there's our octopus picture. Oh. It's a flicker book. When was the last time you had a flicker book? And also some, you know, amazing, stunning photographs in there as well. I absolutely loved it. I was amazed. I loved it. I mean, it was a bit of a weird one to pick up. I mean, I don't know what. Just I thought, oh, might interest. I'm a curious lass. So yeah, let's stay quite close up. It's not very nice. Oh, my big face, sorry. But yeah, it's a joy. What's this? Oh, and there are beautiful human stories in it too. There was one bit I actually teared up a little bit. I found it quite moving, very moving in a couple of places. So that is a big thumbs up, highly recommended from me. And I just love that quote at the end about that particular octopus serving as an ambassador for her kind. Also, I recently read, and we're going to go out again in a minute, I recently read, and this was from Claire Mittens, Life Between the Tides by Adam Nicholson. This was originally published, the hardback is published as The Sea Is Not Made of Water. Really fascinating book. It's quite a chunky one. It's in 3 parts, and they're quite different. They're very different, the 3 parts. They just about do work together, just about. So the premise of the book is our guy Adam. Oh, and this one is also, you're not going to see, like, there's tons of photos in there as well. Photos throughout and some colour pictures too. He has a favourite place in Scotland. It's on the mainland. It's near Oban, but it's sort of looking towards Mull. And it's where he and his family went, or was it his wife's family originally went there, and then he starts to. They holiday there at a little cottage right on the sea. A beautiful, no one around kind of little cove. And he wants to go rock pooling, but there aren't really any rock pools there, and it's a kind of madcap idea. And he has to work with one of the governmental agencies in Scotland. I don't know what it's called, Nature Scotland or something like that. And he gets permission to build 3 rock pools. He does it very simply. He uses what's there, the rock that's there, and he chips some of it out, or in some cases he dams up a little area so that basically as the tide goes out, like between the tides, once the tide's out, it retains the water. And he observes the life that starts to colonise those 3 different rock pools. So the reason I'm saying it's a book of 3 parts in a way, the first section, actually I'm going to refer to my notes, it's easy than trying to look through the book again. The first section covers the creatures, so we get, and rather like, it's going really well today, isn't it? Rather like with the Octopus book, there are creatures in here which I didn't really know much about, hadn't given much thought to. Some of them give me the ick. By the end, again, I was like, oh, I want to get up close and personal and look for myself. So the first creature he looks at is the sandhopper, which I call them sand fleas. And I've never liked them because they're annoying. And you'll find them in the strand line, which is the strand line, how to describe it. It's the top of the high water. If this is the sea and this is the beach, so the sea's coming in. So the strand line is that top bit of where the sea has reached, where it deposits seaweed, for example. So sand fleas, sand hoppers, they'll live in that seaweed. So sandhoppers, prawns also give me the ick. I don't know why. But again, reading about them was so fascinating. The minutiae of detail was brilliant. So the first section is the animals: sandhopper, prawn, winkle, crab, anemone. Great. But then the next section, it moves on to more about the physical world. So the tides, the rocks. Thoroughly enjoyed all of that too. And then the next section, he gets into, there's quite a lot of philosophy. We get into some of the ancient pre-Socratic philosophers, in fact. Which ones did I make a note of which ones he's talking about? Not particularly. But yeah, so we have the pre-Socratic philosophers right up to the Enlightenment philosophers and scientific thinkers of the day. So Kepler, Copernicus, Newton, Galileo. So we get all of this around the kind of the tides and what these Enlightenment scientists and philosophers were trying to work out about our planet. It's so interesting. It's brilliant. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But that was kind of almost like a world away from his rock pools. So he does try and bring it back together. It does all link up. To me, it didn't matter. It did. Right. I'm excited to share it. It did feel like 3 different books. However, that didn't matter because it was all so wonderful. I utterly loved it. Also, he talks about, and this was fascinating too, the ancient peoples of, so we're going back to Neolithic on some of the islands of around Scotland and the mainland, and then coming right up to date with sort of the Highland clearances, that subsistence living in such a harsh environment, and how some of those peoples had used the sea and eaten and foraged and lived off the sea, and then that was then rejected, and it was crops, land-based crops. It goes all over the place. It's utterly brilliant. That's another one I highly recommend. Claire, thank you so much for sending that to me. It sat on my shelf for, I think she sent it about the summer. It sat on my shelf for about 6 months. I knew I'd get around to reading it at some point. So glad I did. Utterly brilliant. In search of rock pools and other adventures along our shores, along the shore. Did I forget to say anything? There's a lot of, with the animals section at the beginning, it draws on a lot of research from over the years from all sorts of different scientists, and it's an area of study which is continuing. We'll, thank goodness for research and scientists who continue to ask questions about everything in our universe and everything on our planet, and then we get it précis for us in a book. Loved it. There's a great quote at the front. There's a lot of people have read and recommended it, other authors, and there's a brilliant quote at the beginning from Cal Flynn, who wrote Islands of Abandonment. It's another one I read. That was the one all about
areas that humans had basically trashed, they've become abandoned, and how nature is reclaiming them and recolonising them. So, for instance, Chernobyl is in there. But Cal Flynn said, a fascinating guide to all things littoral as in between the tides. A natural history of the rock pool that teems with life. Adam Nicholson draws from science, literature and philosophy in this most brilliant, learned book of the bay. Endlessly interesting, its wonders unfurl fractal-like the more closely you examine it. Absolutely. So we go from looking at the tiniest little creature, the sandhopper, to looking at the universe or the solar system and how that affects our tides. Loved it. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much, Claire. Loved it. Now, a quick, we're going to go out again now. Quick hop because, so yeah, this is now from yesterday. Raining, unfortunately. I popped to the library because there's a particular book I want to get hold of. So, once again, run VT. Woohoo! Oh, wait for this car. I always get excited about coming to the library because well, it's like coming to a bookshop where all the books are free. Yay! Come on. Up the apples and pears to fiction. Well, I left the library, I'll explain that in a second. I'm just walking along now, but this building used to be a furniture place called Bishop's. It's where my grandfather clock was bought. Look how high the brook is. We've just had so much rain, it's crazy. Yeah, so I was going to, do you know what, I'm just going to get beyond this bit of the road, because it's, traffic, that time of day. Actually, yeah, the river is really high. If you look under that bridge, wowzers. Right, hang on a tick. Gorgeous, gorgeous building here, gorgeous house. I've often thought, I'd love to live here, but not with this, not with the river right next to it. It hasn't flooded, but if there's a really high tide, and like at the moment with all the rain we've been having, get a high tide as well, because that then backs up the brook. Yes, a very lovely spot. I've just realised actually, I was thinking there's a bit of traffic around, what's going on? But of course, it's school chucking out time. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Right, so yes, back to the library. I'm just walking home. Just giving myself a little bit of a walk. Hopefully, there won't be too much traffic. So back to the library. Just to say, this is St Mary's. Did you hear me over that car? That's the main road out of town, in and out of town behind me, which is why traffic noise. Yeah, this is St Mary's. This is the church whose bells you can hear when I'm in my garden. Oh, it's just achingly beautiful. So I went to the library and I wanted to film inside. I wanted to film looking for what I'm looking for. But, crikey, it was packed. It's absolutely packed. Like this road is, I'm on Church Hill. It's going to get steeper as we go around the corner. I might start puffing and panting. Yeah, it's absolutely packed. So I didn't want to get my camera out. Actually, how fantastic. How fantastic for it to be packed and busy. Oh, another of my favourite buildings, the barn. So the reason I popped into the library was because I wanted to look in fiction. I know, go figure, me looking in fiction. Sorry, I might be particularly wobbly because I put my stick away because the sound of it, a few people have said the sound of my walking stick annoys them.
So try not to annoy people. Yeah, wanted to have a look in fiction for a specific book after having heard a programme on Radio 4. Let me just get beyond these cars. Just come around to the pond for a bit of quiet away from traffic. The pond is actually, it's the old mill pond. It's spring fed. So, I mean, it does look a bit full. Maybe the rain has topped it up a little bit. Is it looking more full than usual? Hey sis. Yeah, let's just have a view while I tell you about this. Let's see, oh look, yeah, it's coming up for 3:30. School kids coming home. I might have to give up on this idea and tell you about it at home. Impossible to find a quiet spot today. Oh, the joy of being a YouTuber. Weather conditions which are not, let's bring you closer, which are not inducive to filming, noise outside, trying to find some peace and quiet, a camera that's on its last legs and doesn't want to focus. Anyway, the reason I went to the library, oh, just to say actually, before I get onto the library, Soul of an Octopus, that's going to go into my shop, the details of which are always in the underneath the title of the video. It's a little grey box, it says more. If you click on more, then there's a drop down and it's got all my contact details and the shop. So that's going to go into the shop. And then Life Between the Tides, because that was a gift to me, I'm going to pass it on and gift it on to someone. That's not going in the shop. It'll be gifted. So the reason I went to the library, so they didn't have what I was after, but I've reserved it. They'll get it from one of the other libraries. It's for a book by Ali Smith called Glyph. Now, she's written 2 books called Glyph, and they have slightly different spellings. So the one I was after was Glyph. The reason, well, Ali Smith, she's an interesting writer. I've only read a couple of her books. I read Autumn and Winter. And she kind of plays with style and the sort of the whole form of the novel. So, for instance, Winter, there's not a beginning, middle and end of the story. It's more like an impression of a moment. So I really like her. I think she's quite challenging to read, but I liked it. So the reason for Glyph in particular is because on Sunday afternoons at 4 o'clock, I think it's 4 o'clock, on Radio 4, oh yeah, it's all the 4s, Radio 4, Sunday at 4, there's a programme called Take 4 Books. So it's an author being interviewed about one of their books, so that's one of the books of the 4, and they talk about 3 other books which have influenced them. And it's really fascinating because, first, it's fascinating to hear how the author's mind works. So on the Sunday that I was listening, Ali Smith was on talking about Glyph. In fact, it's really recent, so because some of the Radio 4 programmes you can listen to quite a bit later. I quite often listen to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue days, sometimes a couple of weeks after it's been broadcast. So yeah, Ali Smith on Take 4 Books talking about Glyph, Glyph, not her first one, Gliff. And what's lovely about the show is, so the author talks about their book, but also in general about things that have influenced them, and then the 3 other books, the specific influences from those books which are fed into the main book that they're talking about. So as a reader, you're getting kind of reviews of 4 different books actually to think, oh, I've never heard of that. Quite often there's that, I've never heard of that, I have to look that one up. So there was a Tolstoy short story that I don't know called Strider, which I really want to find. So Glyph is about 2 sisters and a ghost horse, as in a horse. Really interested to read it. So yeah, the power of radio. I mean, I love my radio. My radio is on for hours, most days. Usually,
focus, focus, focus. Usually I'm doing something else and listening. Sometimes I'll stop, 6:30, I stop what I'm doing and actually have a sit and a listen. Look, I know this has gone out of focus again. Please do not write in to tell me it's gone out of focus. Please don't tell me how frustrating it is for you. It's even more frustrating for me. Even more so the fact that I'm now going to have to spend a month's income on a new camera, but I'm going to have to. It's my job. I need a new camera. Yeah, back to the books. It's a joy to just be listening to something like that and being inspired. Start now focusing. Oh my goodness, no, you're... It worked! Yeah, it's a font of knowledge, the radio, isn't it? We can learn whether it's current affairs or something from history. I was listening to another fab one the other day on the programme called You're Dead to Me. And it takes an historical figure and does a deep dive into them. And I was listening to one the other day about Chaucer, learning so much that I didn't know about Chaucer. So anyway, long story short, that book is on reserve for me, and as soon as it's free or it's being sent from another library, as soon as it comes to me, I'll have a read of it and let you know what I think. But yeah, definitely listen out for that show on a Sunday afternoon, Radio 4, 4 o'clock, Take 4 books, if you're a reader. And in the meantime, I'm going to go and get on the computer now and get myself sorted with a new camera. Oy vey. All right, lovelies. Oh my goodness, what a trial to get a video out. I don't think people realise. I think a lot of folk think with YouTube, you just turn the camera on, chat for 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes later it's on YouTube. Woo, and you're making money. It's so much more to it than that. I need to take a deep breath and not go doolally. I will see you all really soon, and I hope by the time I see you again, I'll be in focus. Maybe soft focus Vivi is better, like Angela Lansbury in the last couple of years of doing Murder, She Wrote. It was always in soft focus. I've got to go. Until next time, everyone, cheerio. Good grief.